What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy up on the screen? And to that I would answer, this is the first time I've ever shown my face on screen. If you're a returning viewer, if you're here for the first time, then you should probably skip this section because it probably won't make sense. I have the timestamps in the video description. So anyway, this is the first time I've ever shown my face on stream, and if you're a returning viewer and you've been watching my channel for a long time, you probably know that I have hinted at my face reveal before, especially in my first couple of videos where I said I would do a face reveal at 1,000 subscribers, and now I'm at 5,000, so I decided might as well not delay that promise forever. But anyway, that brings me to the main point of this video, which is how I crushed two 2300s. And you're probably also wondering how in the world a 1700 rated player managed to play two 2300 players, because obviously chess.com doesn't really let that happen on a daily basis. Well, it's because I was actually invited to a tournament, and for legal reasons I can't really specify which tournament or like where it was played, and like it was online, but like what the organization was. But anyway, the point is I played in this tournament, and I played at 2300. I beat him. I played the next 2300 in the final round. I beat him, and then I won the tournament and $50. So that was pretty exciting. So let me just show you the game. So it's between the first 2300, and let's just get into it. So we start out with e4. I'm playing with the white pieces here, and e4 is basically my opening move. I've never played d4 before because, I mean, I couldn't imagine pushing this pawn. So then we get c5, the Sicilian defense. And actually in the next game we also get a Sicilian defense. So I played a little bit different against both players just to mix it up a bit. In this game I went with knight c3, and I basically played this grand pre-attack with the idea of bringing my bishop out here, trading the knight, and then playing d3, f4. And there's a lot of ideas here, but the point is I've got this nice little structure here, basically fighting for control of the center, which is nice. And I develop, I castle, I go with this signature idea at queen e1, hoping to go over to h5, basically to put some pressure on the king. Normally it doesn't really work against this configuration with the bishop fianchettoed, but I mean, it's worth a try. So he does do this mistake d5, because you're not really going to take, because then obviously black would get 2 pawns in the center. So I push, and basically I'm restricting his knight. Because before this, I really couldn't push, just because here, and maybe knight here, and then, I don't know, there was some stuff. But after he pushes, I can go here, and basically this knight really only has one good move, which is a knight to d7. And the problem with this move is it blocks in the bishop, and it just kind of, it's a little passive, which is not really what black wants. But I even it out by playing queen h5 with another mistake, just because it really doesn't do anything. I think b3, maybe developing a more important piece like the bishop would have been more helpful for me. But anyway, I play queen to h4, which is not the worst move in the world. It's kind of the whole point of playing queen to e1, so it would be a little weird not to play queen to h4 after that. He goes e6, offering a trade of queens, and I happily accept. I'm always happy to get trades against high-rated players just to make the game more easier for me, especially since I think I'm more comfortable playing the endgame, generally. Then he plays rook to b8, attacking this b2 pawn. Again, the computer likes b3, but I saw like b3, f6, and I don't know. It looked a little sketchy to me, so I just did not play it. But so I went rook to b8 instead, just to defend the pawn pretty easily. He goes a5, and now I go knight a4, just discovering attack the pawn on a5. And now my knight has another target, which could possibly be attacked in the future. I don't really know how, but the whole point is discovered attack. So we get rook to a8, and we get knight back to c3. I'm just offering a draw at this point. We could repeat moves and just make a draw easily. But, of course, he's 2300 playing a 1700. Who in their right mind would agree to the draw? So he goes to a4. And the whole point is now my knight can't go to a4 because obviously there's a pawn there protected by the rook. And now my knight is pretty limited in its options. So going b3 and attacking this pawn would probably be the best idea. But I choose instead to go h3 because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I mean, I'm playing a 2300 and I'm not completely losing. So I'm just going to play a waiting move to see what he wants to do. He goes a3, which I'm like, okay, you just wasted a lot of moves here, but apparently it's the best move. So I just take. I could have also pushed, but I didn't really like how good this pawn was here, protecting this b2. It just felt a little cramped. So I just took, and then I offered a trade here. His probably best bet is to go back to a7, because if he takes like this, actually I'll get into that later. A7 is just better, just because this pawn, you're keeping this isolated, and this is not really a threat, this passed pawn, because there's so many pieces that can get active. Develop this bishop, you can get so many pieces into the game. You can even develop this bishop like this in the future, get like this. But instead he chooses a trade, and the reason this is not great is because I can take back like this. Now if I check back with the c pawn, it wouldn't be very good because then I have an isolated d pawn, which is a very big weakness in my position. So take with the a pawn, and now you'll notice I have pretty much all my pawns are connected, which I want, and his pawns are doubled here, so I can always attack in the future. But more importantly, this a file is open. My knight has more mobility now. It can go like here to a4. My bishop can go here. I can go here. I can put pressure on this now. So he goes bishop to a6. Now, it really doesn't do anything except putting this bishop on a better diagonal, because this pawn is protected. So I go knight to a4. Not the best move. Computer likes expanding here better, which kind of makes sense, since usually a principle of chess is to go play in the opposite side of where the opponent plays. So I go knight to a4 instead, opening that possibility of bishop to a5. Pretty much bishop to a5, knight here. Kind of my whole idea. He goes c4, which is a pretty good move, just attacking here, looking to get rid of this doubled pawn. So it's kind of scary at this moment, but the eval bar does say it's dead even. So I go bishop to a5, because I didn't really like taking, just because I didn't know what type of position this would give me, and I didn't want to give the black bishop too much activity. So I thought it was important to keep my pawns on light squares, because another principle of chess is keep your pawns on squares opposite color of your bishop. So my bishop is a dark squared bishop, so these pawns are all on light squares, so my bishop has more mobility. If my pawns were on light squares, or on dark squares, my bad, then my bishop would just be eating a brick wall of pawns, and that wouldn't be very nice. And especially since his bishop here is also on a light square, it's also better for me to keep on light squares, so he doesn't have as much mobility. You'll notice all these pawns are on light squares. Horrible for this bishop. This bishop is also just eating straight dirt. I mean, these pawns are also very well placed on dark squares, although this bishop can become active in the future. It's not very clear how, but it could somehow access this diagonal, even though it's not the best idea. Bishop to a5, just attacking the rook. Rook moves. Not really sure why the computer gives this mistake, but now I decided to chop it off because I see that it could open the d file up, which I think is pretty valuable for my rook. Especially, I'm attacking this knight. I'm also eyeing this back rank. This king is kind of weak. So, rook to b7, he defends it. Now, the computer does see a nice variation where sacrificing the knight, because this pawn cannot be stopped. I can't go back to d8. So I have to go back to here, then rook here, and then now this pawn is protected from promotion. I'm probably going to have to lose my bishop, but I think, yeah, you can also go rook d1, and this is coming. And then there would be a pin on the bishop because of the rook on the other side. But luckily, my opponent didn't see that. It is a blitz game. So I go, so he defends the knight like this. and then I go knight to d4. I'm attacking this pawn here. Computer does like b4. I mean, it does seem good. So I take like this. Now my knights are getting the game, and knights are pretty tricky, so now I go to c4, c5, I trade the knight. He goes to a7. Now I'm eyeing this back rank, but this bishop is giving me some problems because it can just block. So I go to b4. I'm setting up something nasty on this diagonal here. So he goes h5, giving some love for his king, but it's not enough because now I can reroute with my knight. Now I'm going to one of these two squares. He goes to a2. I'm going to g5. Again, it says it's a miss here just because probably something like this here. But anyway, I saw a nicer variation. Knight g5. Now I'm protecting the square. He can't go to h7 now. And I don't know if you look at the clock, but it's 4 minutes and 9 seconds for him compared to 59 seconds for me. So I'm also rushing. I can't really find the best moves. But for some reason, we have a 5-second increment, and he gains 2 seconds, which means he spent 3 seconds on this move. It's a dead draw. Immediately blunders. Rook takes c2. Forgetting that this knight protects this, instead of moving his rook back, he takes on c2. And I'm able to give a check. His bishop is forced to block, but luckily my bishop was here. You'll notice I saw all the way back from here. I eyed this back rank. Bishop could protect it, so I got my own bishop on that diagonal. I moved the bishop to b4, and then now all pays off in the end. I take like this because I'm sure if I take like this, there's also a mate. It's just not as clear. So I take like this, and now if the bishop moves here, it's just checkmate. So he has to give me some checks. He goes f5, doesn't really do anything. I mean, the knight still controls f7, and bishop to h6 is checkmate. So I win this first game, and obviously I'm very excited, but I still have another game to go. I can't let it get too much of me, so still got to keep my composure. Now I'm playing white again in this game. So I start out with e4. I'm hoping for e5. I really don't like playing against a Sicilian, but we get another Sicilian, and this time I decided to try something out. I played knight f3. I've been studying this open Sicilian variation for a while, and I just want to see how it'd go, especially since I wasn't really looking to win this game. I didn't really think that was a possibility. I mean, statistically speaking, beating a 2300 as a 1700 once is hard enough, but beating it twice is like, especially in a tournament, twice in a row, it's pretty hard. So I wasn't really looking to win this game. I just decided to test out my new opening, see how it would go against a fairly experienced player. He goes d6. It's open Sicilian. I go bishop b5. I kind of forgot my theory here because I do not play the right way. I played knight c3. Theory is something like this, and I'm going to play it sort of like an Alpin Sicilian. c3 and then d4, but I do not play that. Instead, I played knight c3. Wrong thing to c3. So then we get knight to f6, and then we get d3, g6. This is all pretty normal, basic developing moves. I connect my rooks here with queen to d2, a3, b5, bishop h6. Now he goes b4. He's attacking. So I'm forced to move my knight. And now he finally takes on h6 here. I get my queen a step close to the king, which, again, you'll see was something similar in the last game. I kept my queen here, trying to get close to the king. But this time, this queen cannot be traded. So I was looking for some stuff with, like, knight g5, attacking this h7 square. Obviously, knight protects this, but you'll see in the later game that this knight is actually a very, very big weakness. So he moves to queen b7 just because I'm threatening a fork, so he protects that. Now I go b3, and the whole idea is just give another square. You notice my knight actually has no moves in this position. As the saying goes, knights on the rim are dim. So I go b3, and I'm looking to reroute to b2 and to c4. And now I'm eyeing this pawn, which is only protected by the knight and attacked twice by my rook and my knight. Now he goes queen to c7. He's protecting this pawn, but it is unfortunately a mistake because I can go knight to g5. And now this pressure is being put, and he should have done something about it. For example, like this, And now if I go here, now he can kick me out like this, attack my knight, and this queen sees this, and his king is very well protected. Unfortunately, he does not find that. Well, fortunately for me, unfortunately for him, he does not find that, and I get to go like this. Now he moves his knight into the center. It's pretty scary, but then I just realized a5 is a free pawn. He can take on c2, but like his knight isn't really doing anything here, and you can just see the eval bar jump, and that is because of one move and one move only. And I'll give you some time to find it. It's somewhat of a tricky move to find. It is a brilliant move, and it does sacrifice a piece. So just pause the video here and see if you can find it. But in the game, I played knight to e3. A brilliant move because it gives up this rook for a seemingly weird. It just seems weird because why would you give up a rook? You're not even. It doesn't even look like you're threatening anything. But I am actually threatening something. He takes a rook, and now I have another winning move, mate in 3. Now this game does go on for I don't know how many moves, like 10 more moves, 12 more moves. So I did not find the checkmate 3, but I did find the alternative, which was knight to d5. Pretty much does accomplish the same thing as knight to g5, except in this variation, the queen can take this knight. So that was kind of unfortunate for me not to find the checkmate 3. But if I went to knight to g5, there's nothing to take this knight except this. But if it takes like this, I'm taking like this. I'm just distracting this knight. There's nothing you can do. I'm also attacking it at the same time. So yeah, that would be checkmate. But I went knight to d5, and just look at the time usage here. He spends 2 minutes on queen takes d5. He was busy sending me some insults in the chat, but that's for another conversation. So I take on d5, and he goes rook to c3. Now you'll notice the computer says it's completely equal here, and that's because of another one move only situation, knight to d4. Now this idea is very hard to spot. The whole point is, I think it's easier if I explain like this. Rook to c3, now I can go f4, and I'm opening up this line for the rook to attack this knight. You'll notice that if this knight is just captured once, or it has to move away, then I can take on h7, and that completely wins the game for me. So I'm opening up the f file like this. He goes knight to e3, but I can just take. I'm attacking this knight twice. You can't take my rook because then I take the knight. And that's the whole point of f4. But going back to my point, the only move here is knight to d4. Because after, f4, you check like this, and then you win this knight. And you win this pawn, not sure why that's a miss. It's better for black here. But the whole point is now this knight just stays here, and the rook can never see the f6 knight again. Very sad for the rook. But luckily he doesn't find that, and he goes rook to c3. Obviously not very happy. f4, I open up. He goes rook to c2, but he gives me a meaningless check. I'm able to take his knight and threatening checkmate 2 different ways, both of which are unstoppable. Gives me a couple useless checks, and here he refuses to resign, instead loses by timeout. So that was very exciting for me. I did win 50 bucks. I did win the tournament, and I did beat 22300s. I was pretty much like 17-0-10, or not 17-0-10, 17-07, and I gained 90 points just by beating 22300s. So this was obviously a very good result for me. And anyway, hopefully you guys like the addition of the new face cam, because obviously it's great to see another handsome man just making videos about chess. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I'll be able to post more consistently. I know I haven't posted in a while, but hopefully we'll be able to go to our regularly scheduled programming very soon.